morning, ladies and gentlemen, you beautiful people. I hope your Monday are going spectacular and you're accomplishing everything that you set your mind to get done today. I'm not, but this isn't about me, okay? We're gonna do a reaction video today to Doug DeMiro, but make sure you hit that notification bell. You gotta subscribe first, and then hit that notification bell so next time when I make a video you get notified. That's how this shit works. Anyway, to my 40 subscriber, I appreciate the love y'all been giving me these past couple years, and I'm gonna keep going. Hopefully I'll get to 43 subscribers before the year end. Anyway, we're not gonna waste no more time. We're gonna jump into dog video right now. I think we're doing the Pagani Huayra. It's a beautiful car, but don't listen to me, listen to him. With no further ado, we're just gonna jump into it. Thank you all for watching Bad Fiber Gaming, and like I said, please share my videos, subscribe to the channel, like my videos so I can get picked up by YouTube algorithm. You dig? You'll have a blessed day. Let's go, Dougie.
This is a Pagani Huayra, and it is, quite simply, one of the coolest cars ever made. And that's obvious the moment you first take a look at it. Yes, this one is worth something close to $3 million, but it is also simply stunning. And as you go through the details and the cool quirks and features, it becomes even more stunning. Today, I'm going to do just that.
I gotta say, man,
first, a little overview, and I'm going to start with Pagani, the company. Now, Pagani was founded by Horacio Pagani, who worked for Lamborghini but left in the 1990s in order to start his own firm. Pagani's first car came out in 1999. It was called the Zonda, and it debuted to widespread acclaim for its crazy styling and its insane performance. And then came the Huayra. This car came out in 2011, 2012. This particular one is a 2014 model, and it was updated in 2016 with the Tempesta package. Pagani Huayra Tempesta. It's a special name for a special car, and indeed this is a very special car. It uses a turbocharged V12 borrowed from Mercedes-AMG with 730 horsepower and 740 pound-feet of torque, which makes it one of the fastest cars on the planet. Pagani made only 100 coupe models like this one for the entire world. These days production has stopped, and they're now making an open-top Huayra Roadster version. When this car was new back in 2014, the original sticker price was just under $2 million, but these days the market price for this car is $3 million. The owner of this car, he sent me an email and he says, "Hey, why don't you come up and film a video with my Pagani?" And I was like, yeah, and so here I am. Anyway, today I'm going to show you around the Huayra, and I'm going to show you all of the interesting quirks and cool features of one of the most amazing cars in existence. Then I'm going to get it out on the road and drive it, and then I'm going to give it a Doug score. And for more of my thoughts on the Huayra, click the link below to visit autotrader.com/oversteer, where I've also compiled a list of the most expensive cars currently listed for sale on AutoTrader. Now, next up we move on to the outside of the Huayra, where I first want to cover the engine compartment. Now, as you can see, if you look at it from here, there is a leather strap that is exposed sort of underneath the door and what appears to be holding the engine compartment closed. Actually, it's not quite holding the engine compartment closed. You open the door and you can see that you do have to undo that leather strap in order to get to the engine compartment, but there's also these little red tabs that you pull up that are actual locks that lock you the engine compartment from opening up, and those leather straps are mostly just decorative. It is worth noting, though, that on the side of the buckle for the leather strap, there's a little oval with the Pagani logo. Again, really cool attention to detail. But anyway, back to opening up the engine cover. Now, once you've undone those leather straps, as I have, and once you've unlocked the little red latches to keep it in place, as I have, it becomes a one-person job, and you can open it by yourself, as I'll demonstrate in a second. But while I'm opening it, I want you to watch how close it gets to the doors, and yet how it doesn't hit them. Take a look. And you can see I am opening it by myself, and Pagani has designed it in a way that even though the doors are completely open, you can still open the engine cover, which is good because you don't want to have the doors open, go to open the engine cover, forget, and then damage something. Now, once we have the engine cover open, you can see that this is one of the coolest angles in the entire car, just because the engine cover, when it's open, it's all bodywork, and when it moves away, you basically are left with just the engine, the exhaust, the structure of the vehicle, and it is incredible to see all of this with this thing open. Now, there are a couple of interesting items worth pointing out back here. One is the exhaust in back, this titanium exhaust. You can see it has this very cool blue finish to it. It looks so awesome. And all four exhaust pipes kind of come together right in the middle, and then they shoot out the back in the middle, delivering the amazing sound that this car has. It is just incredible to see them from inside as opposed to from outside. Frankly, I think they look a lot cooler in here. Now, the other interesting thing, like I mentioned, this engine was borrowed from Mercedes AMG, and Pagani doesn't try and hide that, unlike in the new Aston Martin Vantage, where they're trying to cover up its AMG roots. Instead, Pagani allows AMG to be displayed prominently on the side of the engine, and you have the AMG logo right in the center of the engine, along with the plaque of the person who built the engine, just like you have in an AMG car. Now, a couple of other interesting items worth noting back here. One is Horacio Pagani's signature on the back under the engine compartment on this flat piece of carbon fiber. The owner told me a lot of the owners have him sign the cars here because it's like a nice flat piece. It doesn't sort of get in the way, but it's also really cool when you go to look at it to see Pagani's signature. That is a cool little detail. Another cool little detail, there's storage back here. If you open up this carbon fiber covered compartment back here, you will see it is a storage compartment for
everything is
perfectly fitted leather Pagani luggage. And of course, the luggage is absolutely beautiful. There is one of these compartments on both sides, and when you buy one of these cars, you get luggage for either side in the back. So not only do you have an engine back here, an exhaust, suspension, but you also have storage. Who knew? Next up, a few other items worth noting around back. One is the fuel door. How do you put fuel in a Pagani Huayra? Well, it turns out it's just this little fuel door right here that's sort of integrated into the engine cover. You just open it up, and then you put fuel in it. It's really not all that crazy. Of course, the top of the fuel cap is yet another Pagani oval shape. Now, next up, one other absolutely amazing Huayra detail that I bet you didn't know about. Now, when you're inside the car and you're looking at the door panel, you can see there's this little hinged storage area that you can't actually access from the inside. So what's the deal with that? Well, to access it, you open the door, and then the panel is right here. You pop it open, and it is a toolkit. They have one of these on either side. It's like the jack, the tire changing kit. But either way, you're supposed to access it from the outside of the car, not from the inside of the car, even though it is built into the door panel. That is a crazy, interesting little Easter egg. Next up, one other interesting item in the back, too, actually. In addition to all of this craziness back here with the four exhaust pipes and the carbon fiber everywhere and the little wings and the grills for heat, you also have two rather interesting regulatory items. At the very base, you see there's a rear fog light. That's mandated in Europe. People in Europe use it when it's gray, foggy, rainy out, and so it's on there. Right above the rear fog light, you can see the backup camera. The backup camera wasn't a government mandate when this car was made, but they put it in anyway because visibility is obviously a bit of a challenge, and they figured most of their customers would want a backup camera. And of course, while I'm back here, it would be a crime to film a video about this car and not show off its exhaust notes. So take a listen. Next up, moving closer to the front, time to cover two interesting items up here. One is this. It is a little Pagani oval, once again. And inside of it, there's another little Pagani oval. And you can see that on this piece, you have the side turn signal. Usually, most automakers place that little side-mounted turn signal on the mirrors, but the mirrors in this car are rather unique. In fact, they're very special. Now, if you look at them, apparently they were intended to be designed to resemble the eyelash or the eyelid of a woman. Apparently, Horacio Pagani said he wanted the eyelid of the woman to be looking back at him as he drove the car, and so you can kind of see the eyelid, and maybe the eye itself is the mirror. It is a very cool look, these mirrors coming off the fenders. One other interesting mirror item is that they fold. Obviously, these mirrors stick out. They're carbon fiber. The housing, they're very expensive, and so you can fold them in. You're supposed to fold them forward so that they don't get in the way of the door opening. So if you park this car on a narrow street, you can fold your mirrors in. Now, finally, we move on to the front compartment in this car. And if you look at the front compartment, you can see once again, it appears to be held in place solely by a leather strap. But if you open the door, once again, you will notice that there is the leather strap there holding it in place, but once again, there's also one of these little red clips that is actually keeping it in place when you're going high speed. Now, once again, if you undo the leather strap, as I have on both sides, and pull up on those red tabs, as I have on both sides, you can do this with just one person, although this piece is a lot more flimsy than the back, and that's because it's not really intended to be opened all that often. It is not a trunk, as you might think it is. Instead, it's just sort of a front piece. And even though this isn't a trunk, meaning you'll probably never really open it unless you're showing off your car's quirks and features in a video, you can see they finished everything in this beautiful carbon fiber. This is something that will rarely be opened, but it still has to look good. One thing that really looks good is like the structure for the front clip to stay up. You can see the hydraulics and the hinges, and it just looks really cool when it's in the up position and you're looking at that stuff. And that leads us to our final interesting quirk on the outside, which is how this car looks when it is in this state. This is one of the craziest cars on the road already with all of its bodywork in place, but with everything up and the car basically exploded like this, it somehow looks even crazier. This is just about as insane of an image as you'll get from basically any vehicle. I promise you that your Honda CR-V does not open up like this. And finally, we move back inside for the final quirks and features, and those would be in the infotainment system. Now, as you might expect, Pagani doesn't exactly have some crazy infotainment system. This car is mostly about driving, and they're kind of a small boutique manufacturer, but there are two rather interesting quirks in this infotainment system. One is the ambient lighting. Now, as you can see, you go into the ambient lighting and you can change the color of the ambient lights in the interior. That's not all that unusual. Most cars do that. The weird thing is it also changes the color of like the lights inside the gauge cluster and the dials. You can change from any different color, and so your speed readout can be pink one day or blue the next day or red the next day. I've seen a lot of cars that let you change ambient lighting color, but not too many let you change that. And the ambient lighting color changing gets even weirder than that, because you can also set it to cycle through all of the colors. Pagani calls it chroma-therapy. You can select chroma-therapy and then it will cycle through the colors, and while it does it, you can even choose how fast it cycles through the colors. Do you want slow chroma-therapy or do you want fast chroma-therapy? You want the colors to cycle very quickly. You get to choose that. That is one of the coolest and strangest quirks of any car that has ambient lighting colors that you can change. The other interesting item in the infotainment system, you'll notice if you've hung with me this far, that I haven't shown you the mirror controls yet. That's because the mirror controls are hidden in the infotainment system. You change the mirrors in the infotainment screen, and check this out. When you go to change them, it actually resembles the shape of the mirrors, one on each side, and you press these arrows and they move the mirrors exactly how you tell it to, and that is a very unusual quirk of the Pagani Huayra infotainment system. And so those are the many quirks and features of the Pagani Huayra. But you're probably wondering, what's it like to drive a car like this? Well, now it's time to find out.
destination.
That is it. Thank you all for watching my reaction video. Thank you all for tuning into my channel. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you share my videos and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell so next time I upload, you get notified. Appreciate y'all for watching. Please check out Doug DeMiro. He got great car contents, and he's like the funniest car enthusiast out there. You feel me? He's very well knowledgeable. So check him out. Check out his channel. I think he got like over 4 million viewers. So check him out. And appreciate y'all for watching. Y'all have a blessed Monday, and hope you stay productive. And that's it. Peace out.